Yo, yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Crunk Show, News Network, CNN, Dallas Cowboys, the CNN. Let me get everything rolling here, guys. As you know, give me a minute. I'm gonna do this here. Let me get my stuff set up, guys. So we are good. I can't show too much of that basketball game. Uh, Let me get the chat box rolling. Let me see who's in here, guys. Give it a couple minutes to get things rolling. Wanted to go over some of the updates on Demarcus Lawrence, where we stand. I want guy, I'm getting some stuff in the comment section, really like open statements. We need to sign him, and things like that. So, all right, we got 9 in here. Some shout outs for who's in here. Let me know who's listening. Uh, is the sound okay? I had some clicks earlier. What's up, Stevie Mac? Uh, okay, I think I got no issues with the sound. I'm gonna shut this down, guys. Some of us really track these things. Some of us follow it a little bit. All of us have more or less time than others. So where I am at on this, hey Cowboys fan 1973, my man Mike, how you doing? Mike Clark in the house. Stevie Mack, Barbara Long. Not sure who this is. Did you see the new rule change? Yeah, guys. I don't. That's some of the things I wanted to talk about also. On the rule change, since we brought that up, I don't like it. I think, and the reason is, that has pass interference to me has to be something done totally. Stevie Mack, what it is the pass interference. You can throw a pass interference on or a challenge flag on a pass interference, and as you guys know, there's a lot of times pass interference isn't called, and when they do the replay up in the booth, the guys in the booth are saying, that's pass interference, and Troy Aikman saying, well, I don't know, he's had his hand on him. Now you can challenge that. So what it's going to do is, especially at the end of the game, to me, you're going to have a coach saying, just throw it up there. If we don't get the play, we'll throw the challenge flag, because there's always a little hand back and forth, hand checking and these things. So I didn't see the exact like specifications of the rule, but what it looks like is the basic is you can challenge pass interference calls. The way I think that should be done, I think pass interference calls, if they want to replay it, if they want to take a look at it, I think the referees should be allowed to look at it, not the coaches. Now, the coaches should be able to complain. It's kind of like in basketball, how you have that play that's out of bounds or not out of bounds, or did so and so touch it? The ball got touched or didn't. The referees will take a real quick look at the camera, and that really slows the game down too. There was a game last week I watched in basketball. The ball went out of bounds like the last 5 times in 1 minute, and it was looked at like every fucking play was looked at, and it got really ridiculous. George David Banna, I'm super ready for this season. Go Cowboys! I gotta agree with you there. So that's the new rule, Stevie Mack. I don't like it because I think coaches are going to kind of use it as a second Hail Mary at the end of games, or any play that's kind of close. You're just going to start like they're turning this into a passing league, of course. That's the direction we've been going. Eventually, we're going to fake. We're going to take the refs out of the game, called human error. Yeah, Mike, I agree. I don't know how old you are. I get the if you're from 1973, you're a few years older than me. That'd put you at like 46, I think. Um, Been watching football a while. I do trust the referees. I actually started officiating basketball when I was 18. I played high school basketball. I didn't make my high school team, but I loved fucking basketball, man. Okay, we're good. And I've been officiating basketball since I was 18. When I'm not here in Afghanistan, I'm at home. When I'm at home, I'm officiating basketball at least 2 nights a week. I do high school games, 5A high school, junior college. I did start doing some football up in Oklahoma because I couldn't do basketball year round, and it's a lot of studying. It is tough. It is Football is different. You've got, different referees on the field that watch different things, which is kind of good. You can clue in on certain things. That pass interference call was a blatant. The guy was out of position, and he had a bad angle, and he could not see the contact, and he, I don't know how the hell he missed that. It was blatant contact. Even if you don't see the contact, you're gonna see the player move and lose control. So Kayvon in the house. I love all this football talk, but life comes first. Prayer. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, guys, straight up, thank you, Kayvon. I messaged Mark Holmes about 40 minutes ago, and he was like, "Wow, man, thank you very much for letting me know." I'm sure when he posts his next video, he'll do the same thing. First thing, shout out to Michael Irving. There's on Twitter, I got a message from Bleacher Report. Picture him laying in bed. It's a selfie. And you never seen Michael Irvin have the look on his face that he has right now. He is being evaluated for throat cancer. Thank you. Underwent testing for throat cancer. Perfectly said, Kayvon. Kayvon, KK. If I can call you KK, bro, that helps me out to understand. But thank you for bringing that up, KK. There's a lot of people on here. Nicknames kind of help me. So if you don't like that, let me know. But thank you very much. Yeah, Michael Irving. I hope that doesn't affect his career as an announcer. I love that guy, man. He always reps the Cowboys. He's one of, God be with the playmaker. I got a tear in my eye, guys. That really is tough. To be over here in Afghanistan and see Michael Irvin laying in bed. That's actually the reason I got up out of bed. And then when I was getting the video prepared, I kind of forgot about that for a second. But what's up, Antoine Myers? So that's the one thing I don't like about doing these live streams, and I'm starting to realize that now, is if somebody jumps in the middle, they miss what we were talking about in the beginning. But we did talk about the rule change. The pass interference can be challenged now. Michael Irvin is at the hospital being evaluated for throat cancer. And so that's kind of tough. Seeing that picture of him laying there in the hospital bed is really tough. So many prayers for Michael Irvin, and thank you, KK, for putting that out. Fifth quarter Cowboys. Hey, we did an amazing, dude. I really enjoyed talking to you last night. We had a really small show. It was perfect for me. It's like 2 p.m. I think we started at about 3 a.m, and we went till who knows what time, stateside. For you guys, it was like 3 a.m. till like 7 a.m. or something. And I could tell you were tired, brother, but I appreciate you hanging in there. That show, that was the best. That was my best show I've done so far, because I got a chance to talk to you. It was me, myself, fifth quarter's quarterback, and my Cowboys family. They put together a good show. We had a lot of really good discussions last night. And the best thing was it was small enough where we could all get our opinion in. We didn't walk over top of each other. Wasn't too much overlapping and too much traffic. So prayers to Michael Irvin with his situation with the cancer, and also yeah, we can do that, man. I want to get I want to get a few things going. I want to learn how to do that thing that Mosh had set up. I have that, whatever it's called, the Hangouts. I want to do a couple of those, and really, I was going to do one with the guy from Philly and the guy from Atlanta. And I like doing them with other teams as well because it gets us a little knowledge around the NFL. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the situation with Demarcus Lawrence. I posted a video right before I went to sleep about Allen Hurns and what's going on with him. And I'm getting comments in the chat box, and I really try to address all those guys. I got the same people telling me, we need, what are we doing with Allen Hurns? He was our decoy wide receiver, and he was just coming along, and he was our playmaker. He was, averaging 15 yards a catch and stuff like that. But then they're also the same players saying we need to just sign Demarcus Lawrence. You can't do both, guys. When you pay Demarcus Lawrence that extra $4 million, maybe we're trying to get him at 20 million and he wants 24, or we're trying to get him at 21 and he wants 25. That's the $4 million that you have to call Alan Hearns in and tell him, hey, sorry brother, but we got to let you go. It saves us $5 million, and Demarcus Lawrence wants a contract. And fifth quarter quarterback, you know what I would do? While Demarcus Lawrence is there at the Star working out with his partners, I'd call one of his partners in and say, hey, look, we're looking at trading you, or we're looking at releasing you. And the reason is there's other people on the team we need to play, a.k.a. the tank. And sorry, because your best friend is asking for this money, we can't keep the mediocre. And I understand. The problem is there's a disconnect between Khalil Mack and I wrote it down, Mack and Miller, Von Miller. There's a disconnect between Miller and Khalil Mack, and then you've got like Tank Lawrence, who's down here right now. He wants to be up there. Well, once you put him up there, you've got guys like Antoine Woods. You've got guys on the teams that are mediocre. You got players that are, getting paid the team minimum, the league minimum, or close to it, and they step up and they play good for you. Joe Thomas, some of these guys that are going to be needing a little bit more money because they're playing more, because they're doing a better job. Those are the guys you got to get rid of, and you got to bring in people to replace them because you have to pay DeMarcus Lawrence. There's only so much food on the table, guys. And if I reach out and I grab 20% of the food, that means it's taking a little bit off of everybody else's plate. So I want D-Law. D-Law wants his money. Let me read Antoine Wood's statement real quick. Deal doesn't work out. Yeah, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Let me read Stevie Max real quick. Should make Crawford take a pay cut too, especially after what happened. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. We got to reach around the table and take a little bit off of everybody's plate if we're going to keep DeMarcus Lawrence. Or we got to talk to him and say, hey, man, Jalen Smith, I know you and him are close boys, but you need to talk to him. We're going to have to look at, seeing what we can do with your contract. Sean Lee already took a pay cut, and that's understandable. He knows his play time is going to be down. And this could happen later with D-Law too. Maybe he gets a 5-year deal, and in 3 or 4 years we have to reduce that 5-year deal. But Alan Hearns and the possibility of him being released now and not being even offered a reduced salary, and then those are some of the talks that are going around. There's a possibility Alan Hearns could get released. There's a lot of people out there saying, well, what are we doing releasing this wide receiver? We need that guy. Well, it's part of the talks. We can release him, and that money frees up at least 1 or 2 years. It frees up the money for DeMarcus Lawrence. So now you've got to reach into the draft and replace Alan Hearns. Those are things you got to discuss. So that's where we are on that. There was a few more things on Twitter. Actually, we got a few things pop off. That's what I track, guys. I don't have any kind of special things I watch, but I am able to really, really track my Twitter about every 30 seconds. Roger Goodell said the personnel conduct policy will apply to Patriots owner Robert Kraft, but it will be done after we get all the facts. Okay, so hopefully this Robert Kraft thing will take a little of the light, or be a little bit of a distraction from some issues we got going on with the Cowboys. You guys know I've probably been the most vocal on it. It's just because I'm really concerned about our defensive line. I think our defensive line went from the hot boys to right now the no boys. We don't have any of those boys left. We got Taco, but he was didn't make a lot of plays. Antoine Woods is going to be there. He really stepped up. That's another guy I'm concerned about. If we do something serious, hey, what's Jesse James, JJ? How you doing, brother? Hadn't seen you in a while. Haley Ware, you probably said, well, if everyone else is going to be asked to take a pay cut, then why is it okay for D-Law to sit pat? 100%, sir. We are a family, bro. And this is the thing. We've got to respect what mom and pop are doing. Mom and pop are Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. That's mom and pop right now. We are a family. We are all Cowboys. I may not be on the team, but I'm sitting back here. You've got the owners, you've got the coaches and top management and then the coaches, and you got the players and the other coaching staff, and then you've got us. We are on the organizational chart, guys. We pay the bills. The money goes from us all the way to the top, and then it's filtered down to the players. The players are in the middle. That's how this works. We pay the bills to Jerry Jones. We buy the tickets. We buy the Lawrence bills. Shit we buy pays Demarcus Lawrence bills. The money goes from us to Jerry Jones, then Jerry Jones. So that's our money. We decide who gets that money. And if we're going to give too much money to one guy and then we can't pay Antoine Woods, and there's no discussion of that as far as I know, but he's just one of the guys that I really like. He's come up out of nowhere. Joe Thomas is kind of coming up. He plays really good on special teams. You have players like teams. Byron Jones could be a player they're looking at next year that they're talking about. He's a player that we could squeeze out. We could trade him and get some trade value and bring in a rookie and start all over. That's called starting all over at that position because. I'm really pissed about my internet again. Guys, I'm really sorry about my Wi-Fi here. I got a new router in yesterday. I thought that would fix it. This is Afghanistan, bro. It does get a little difficult sometimes over here in certain situations. But let me see. This has to go this way. But it gets difficult sometimes, and I apologize. It cuts in and out. So, but that's what we're looking at on Demarcus Lawrence. They are really trying to work with him, and that's the key thing. Working, and that's why it's taken so long. We've got to work Demarcus Lawrence and get him here. We've got to get him to stay. But they can't overpay him because we're going to lose guys that we. It's just crazy, guys. So enough of the Demarcus Lawrence. That's obvious. But I will say this: the $21 million we have on the table right now. I wish I could draw it out. I'll try to explain it. He wants 25 mil. Denise, that I agree. Right now the franchise tag is 21. With that 21 million, I'm gonna try to use my hands here. With that 21 million, easily you could take a fourth round pick, hit up Miami, and we could bring Robert Quinn in. Robert Quinn's salary is probably going to be about $8 million because we probably could get. I'm thinking Miami will at least pay $3 million of his $11.8 million salary, so we'd have about $8 million to pay on Quinn. So of that $21 million, now you have $13 million left. You've lost your fourth round pick, but you've got Robert Quinn here. You paid $8 million of his salary. You lost a fourth round pick. You've still got $13 million left from Demarcus Lawrence's salary. You pick up the other guy. There's two or three. There's Ezekiel Ansah. There's a couple guys. There's Malik McDowell, whatever his name is. I'm watching these guys, but right now I wasn't really prepared to talk about this. So those are two guys you could pick up with the salary from Demarcus Lawrence and losing a fourth round pick. Now, the thing is, Demarcus Lawrence trade value, probably right now, you could probably get a second round pick for him. So you release him, we get a second round pick in. Now we have 2 second round picks, but we lost one of our fourth round picks. So we'd have 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, a fifth, no sixth, and a seventh. That's what we would have right now. Instead of having 1 second, a third, 2 fourths, a fifth, and a seventh. So we would actually move up from the fourth round to the second round. Those picks would swap. We would have two good edge rushers. Now we wouldn't have Demarcus Lawrence. Of course, he's a game changer, but we'd be more versatile. We'd have more depth on the line, but we just wouldn't have that NASCAR hot boy on the edge. So that's where we stand, guys. If it has to go down that way, it has to go down that way. Denise, Michael Irving is in the hospital. He's being evaluated for throat cancer. And that's what I don't like about I said this earlier, I don't like this about the live streams. Guys, if you ever get confused on the live streams, if you ever get confused because you come in halfway through and we're talking about something, please, before you make a comment in the comment box, go back and check the rest of the video, because there's been times we get sidetracked. I try to respect the chat box. Somebody will ask me a question and we start talking about something, and then we change subjects, and then we start talking about something else. And let's say, for instance, we're talking about Des Bryant, and we say a bunch of positive things about Des Bryant and Des Bryant and Des Bryant, and man, we miss him as a Cowboy and his passion. And then we change subject about, yeah, but he had these problems in the locker room and he wasn't getting along with this guy or whatever. And you jump in the middle of that, and all you hear is 2 or 3 people in the chat box, or especially myself, dogging out Des Bryant. And then I get these rants in the chat box, which I do respect. I respect everything that's put on my page. But you get Chaz Jewell in the house. My brother, how are you, man? Then you get these rants in the chat box of, Cowboy Crunk's dogging out Des Bryant, and he was put in a bad situation, and all that. Yeah, I understand. And that didn't happen, not on the Des Bryant thing, but it's happened on a few other things. Denise, there's a picture of him on. It really sad. I actually had a tear in my eye earlier when I was trying to talk about it, because there's a picture of him. It's a selfie, and he's there in the hospital bed, and really tough, because he's the one commentator that he don't give a damn. He stands up for the Cowboys. He talks his Cowboys, and he does not rep another team. And I'm glad he does that. Some of the commentators, I don't know how that works. I really don't know how that works. Some of them, it's like they have to be neutral. I know when they're calling a game, they have to be neutral. I think when they're just broadcasting, NFL chat, and they're just talking about stuff, they don't have to do that. But that guy, straight up solid Cowboy. I wish Des Bryant could have retired like that. I do love Des Bryant. We did see the drop off and stuff like that in his performance, but I just think the team was in transition, and the team changed around him, and new quarterback, new style of offense, completely new system, and Des Bryant. So enough on Des Bryant. That wasn't what we were here to talk about, but there also was some other news. I got some other Twitter posts that just came in. Let's see. What was that post earlier? There was a post earlier I wanted to discuss. Let me see what this says. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Let me read through this. I'm trying to check a few things. Carmen policy. Okay, you guys aware of the rule change on the pass interference? So it looks like they're going to allow pass interference to be a challenge play, because of the New Orleans game, and New Orleans kind of losing that. They actually did lose that game. I don't like what the rule change is looking like right now. I think they're still going to talk about it the rest of the week. Stephen Jones isn't going to pay him over the tag. Man, I think he deserves a little bit over the tag, but I'm looking like right around the tag ballpark. I think I'm right there with the tag, actually. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that, but I think that's one of the reasons. If you guys aren't aware, there is discussion on possibly releasing Allen Hurns, and to me, I'm in the chat box. I hear some of you guys saying trade him. It depends on what we can get. I also, hear people say pay him, and I understand that too. It depends on what he's asking for. But these situations are the kind of situations that is possibly pushing Allen Hurns out the window. Or out the door. And that's a discussion right now. That's $5 million you could save. So we'll see, guys. I don't know what to do either. It has to be. You have to really be there. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and probably Marinelli. Those are probably the guys that are talking to him and trying to work it out and trying to get it as close as they can. The tag is, I think it's like 21.8. It's a little over or right at 21 million, somewhere around there, maybe 20. Yeah, it's right in that ballpark. But these are players We could lose certain players because of this. And this is a team's concept, guys. It is a team. Like I was saying earlier, the money comes from us. We put that money up. We pay the salaries. And that's why I get real passionate when we 20.8. I knew it was a point .8 in there. So I could go up to Jason P. I think that's where it's going to end up if he stays. If he stays, I think they're going to be around 22 because I don't think the Cowboys are wanting to go over that. I know it is crazy, but guys, that's what they're making. The problem is you got Khalil Mack and you've got Von Miller that have set the bar, and the bar right now with those guys is set up here. So I'm from Houston too, Larry King. I live in the big nasty Magnolia, Texas, the Woodlands. So shout out to you. Hey, Crunk D-Law is good, but he is not a team player. Right now, he's not acting like a team player. He's using the surgery as a weapon. He's also using his salary as a weapon. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I need to move the computer over a little bit here. There we go. Now I'm more in line. He needs to get surgery on his shoulder first. He needs to do that. That's hurting him. The reason, guys, I think he hasn't done the surgery is he wants to be a Cowboy. So what he's doing, he knows the Cowboys want to keep him. We're both over here. We're both in the same room. It's not like Demarcus Lawrence is in the other room and they're calling each other on the phone. They're in the same room, and what I mean by that is both of them, we want him to be a Cowboy. Everybody on here, I think everybody on here wants him to be a Cowboy. But the problem, we got to get him at the right price. So the people that are open to this trade thing are the ones that are saying we can't hurt an Antoine Woods. We can't take food off his plate. We can't take food off Alan Hearn's plate. We can't take food off Byron Jones' plate, Chidobe Awuzie, because the more money he asks for, the less money we have for these other guys. So, and I know I repeat myself here, guys. If you've been in the chat box since the beginning, we've been talking about this for a while. But that's the one thing I don't like about the live is sometimes people jump in and they ask a question we've been talking about. And I don't want to disrespect anyone, so we kind of repeat ourselves. But I like doing the live streams because you guys are here. I like to get, feedback and stuff like this. Plus, he wants a lot of guaranteed money. That's true, Denise, also. So we really gotta watch this situation and see what happens. Is there a Cowboy fan out there that doesn't like Demarcus Lawrence, that doesn't want him on the Cowboys? I can tell you there probably is not. Denise, you sound real negative right now about keeping him. But I promise you love him as a player just like I do. I want him here. Hell yeah, I want him here. But he has to realize at that table, there's a lot of Cowboy brothers and sisters sitting there that got to get paid. Well, there's not any sisters. We don't have any females on the Cowboy team, but you guys know what I mean. We're at the table too. We don't get paid, but we sit at the table, and we watch the game. And as far as that goes, the more he makes, the less the other guys get. So it's a team concept, guys. There is a salary cap. You got to realize with the salary cap, if we push his salary up and give him what he wants, we're probably releasing a couple guys that people are going to be saying, well, what happened? We just signed Tavon Austin. I'm not saying him, but you're looking at Alan Hearns, you're looking at maybe one of the defensive linemen, or you're looking at maybe Kayvon Frazier, trying to get rid of him. He does a lot of things on special teams, and you're going to say, well, Kayvon Frazier's gone because Demarcus Lawrence, we had to pay him, so we had to, release him and pick up a safety in free agency, or not free agency, in the draft or something. So we'll see, guys. We'll see how it goes. The latest on Robert Quinn is I haven't heard anything, which hearing nothing on him is good. That means the time is going by. If there is any news on him in the last 24 hours, if you guys got something, put it in the comment section. But I haven't heard anything on Robert Quinn, Larry. And the reason is that it's a good thing for us is as time goes by, we're hoping he gets released. If he gets released, then we don't have to give up the draft pick. So that's a good thing. The problem is we have to pick up his whole salary, but we can negotiate his salary. He's not obligated to whatever. I think it's $11.8 million right now. So he becomes a free agent if he's released. Did he go to New Orleans? As far as I heard last, no, he did not. I heard that there was negotiations, that they did kind of talk. New Orleans said we haven't talked to him. It seems like, guys, I don't know. It seems like he, himself, and his agent are trying to just drum up some interest. Oh, they're trying to drum up interest from the Cowboys by saying, well, he could be talking to New Orleans. He could be, and it's real simple to do that, guys. All you have to do is have the agent contact the radio station or contact a little newspaper, because that happened to me a week ago or so. I was checking New Orleans news to see if he was going, and I'm looking at this little radio station. I'm looking at this little newspaper, and it said Cowboys say Robert Quinn is not coming, but apparently what happened is his agent said, we're thinking about coming. We should come into New Orleans, and he was going to do some radio show there, or some shit. I don't know. But he told the radio station he was coming. I posted that on the channel that he's possibly still going to New Orleans because this, that, and the other thing. And what's that? I I opened the I opened the link there, Mike. Could you let us know what that is? Maybe that's the update on that. Um, no, they did sign the tight end. They signed him yesterday. Kenneth, they signed their tight end yesterday. I think to like 6 or 7 million a year or something. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's the link that Miami might keep him. And yeah, that's what Miami's throwing out there, that if we don't give them what they want, and that's another thing to stir up interest. Miami didn't hear back from us. We didn't answer. We went back and forth. We talked to him. Jerry Jones met with him. Miami knows it's serious. Hey, we're going to get another draft pick. We're going to get rid of this guy. We're going to dump his salary, and we're going to pick up a draft pick. We're rebuilding in Miami. That's what we need. Miami doesn't need a pretty good, solid veteran lineman. What they need is a young defensive lineman that doesn't cost them anything, that they can bring in, and he'll be good in 2 or 3 years so that they can put the pieces around him. So they're hoping to get rid of his salary and pick up a draft pick that they can hopefully work a deal with this draft pick and get him trained up the way they want, while they're rebuilding. So Miami will do things like this and say, "Hey, well, if you don't want him, we'll just keep him because we love him. We love him. We just need the salary cut, and we'd like a draft pick. But no, hey, if you're not interested, don't worry about it because we're happy with him." And then the Cowboys are like, "Well, it's an interest draw, guys. So it's all games. It's all and it's the same thing right now, even with Demarcus Lawrence. It's all games. We don't know what's going to happen. He's holding it this. It's bluff. It's this and that. It's all a game of it's not a game of strip poker, but I'm glad they're not playing strip poker. But it is a game of card. It's like a poker game. So I hope we get Robert Quinn too at the right price. I hope it works out. If we could do Quinn and Demarcus Lawrence, I think we are solid on the line. I think he with Marinelli bringing him in, if we can get the guy like really healthy, and Robert Quinn has been a solid player. He's only missed like 2 games in the last 4 years. Uh, I think he's been in the league 8 years, and six of those years, he's only missed 2 games. So imagine being a defensive lineman, and in 6 years you've only missed 2 games. That's pretty good. Then he had another year of 8 games and another year of 9 games where he missed, about half the season. Um, yeah, I'm the same, Denise. And then I still hope the Demarcus Lawrence thing works out. Of course, I don't want him gone. I don't think any Cowboy really wants him gone. We just want the right value, either traded out and the right value given for him, or we get the right value for him, or we pay him the right value and we keep him through his salary. That's where I'm at on it, guys. Oh, we got more Twitter updates. There was some stuff lower down in the Twitter box that came out earlier today. I wanted to check. Just want them to get in. The right guys are losing jobs. Yeah, exactly. Brian Brodus just posted, and I don't always agree with him, but he said there's guys on the Cowboys team. Is that what he's talking about? I just want to get it right. There's guys losing jobs because of blown calls. Oh, okay. He's talking about blown calls. He's talking about the NFL. the referees thing. I thought he was talking about the Demarcus Lawrence situation, that guys are losing jobs because this contract, they're trying to work it out, and they're trying to, they're basically taking a little bit of food off of other players' plates to try to keep Demarcus Lawrence. And is that right? For Demarcus Lawrence, it's right. But for the other players, it's not right, because some of those players also are playing better and are improving, and are guys we'd like to keep, aka Joe Thomas. Alan Hearns is one that's being discussed. I don't think Joe Thomas is, but Kayvon Frazier. These are guys that play really good on special teams. Antoine Woods that stepped up, and really, really helped us last year. Some of these guys are going to be people we really need. On the rule changes, guys, I don't know if you guys know, it looks like they're working on a deal, or it may be solidified, kinda, that you can challenge pass interference calls. I don't like it. To me, it's going to end up, coaches are going to save that till the end. They're going to use it as a Hail Mary. If the Hail Mary don't work, they're going to throw the challenge flag. And as you guys know, when they look these things over up in the booth, even like the guys in the booth, Troy Aikman and Tony Romo and those guys that are up there with him, they even will be like, oh, that was a pass interference. Well, no, he had his hand on his hip, but it didn't look like he put any pressure. And in slow motion, I think, and on video replay, pass interference is going to get called a lot now if they start doing that. So it's something I think that the referee should be able to challenge it instead of throwing the challenge flag. Let's say there's 7 referees on the field. Let's say the referee thinks he might have missed a call. He can get with the head official and say, we probably need to look at that. That was the head linesman call, but I'm the back judge. I didn't have a good angle, but I think that was pass interference. They can discuss that. Or if you have that situation in the game where that play happened and the freaking crowd goes crazy and the coach is belligerent, something happened, you say, I don't know what's going on, and the referees get together. And I refereed, like I said, I refereed football for a while, high school and some junior college games. I refereed basketball my whole life. I did basketball since I was 17, 18 years old. I did a lot of college games, and basketball's different. You make the call, you have to stand by it. The call is made then. It is changing, but football is completely different. If that coach is going crazy and the crowd is going crazy and you miss something, the referees huddle after every call. Anytime there's a penalty, the referees get together. You have that opportunity to say, we need to look at this. Maybe there was a pass interference. But if you give the coaches the challenge flag and you let them throw it out there, of course they only have a certain amount of challenge calls, but they're going to use it at the end of the game. If they have it in their pocket, Hail Mary, throw the challenge flag. You're going to be discussing if he had his hand on his hip, if he put his hand on his shoulder pad, is that pass interference? And no one's going to agree on the call. It's going to come out of the challenge and still be, it's going to be still an undisputed pass or non-pass interference with no probably correct answer. Actually, because this is Stephen A. Smith's office, I don't know if you guys saw a big-ass pterodactyl fucking turkey vulture crash through his office and was alive. A huge bird. The hole in his window, you could easily put my TV through that hole in his window. It was a hole in his window the size of my television in Stephen A. Smith's, and he had a big condor, or they call it a turkey vulture. I don't know what that is. It's a big ass bird. Was in his office at the ESPN building. So that's a lighter note. Let me check the chat box again, guys. See you later, Go Cowboys. Hey, thank you, Cowboys Face, very much for being here. Always nice to see you. Ziggy, Quinn, and a draft. Jason P., that's where I'm at. If DeMarcus holds, we go get those 2 guys, and if we can get a second-round draft pick, those 2 guys are paid for, and we get a second-round draft pick. So we basically would have a young guy that we could hand to Marinelli, and Marinelli could scope him the way he wants, pick who he wants, but we would have 2 second rounds now. We would have the pick that we have already, and we would have the pick from Demarcus Lawrence, and we would have his 21 million to pay Ziggy and to pay Quinn. Now with Quinn, we're probably going to lose a fourth round, so we would get a second for Demarcus Lawrence. We would get his salary. We would pay Ziggy because he's free agent. It wouldn't cost a draft pick. We give up the fourth round for Quinn, and we still have the money from Demarcus Lawrence salary to pay him. So that's not what I want to happen, guys. I would really prefer to sign Quinn and keep Demarcus Lawrence, and we still got Taco and Antoine Woods and Tyrone Crawford. That's beast mode. But Jason P, JP, I'm right there with you. Kenneth, Milton, Ziggy's going to. Let me check on Milton up here real quick. Totally agree, Ziggy and Quinn. Yeah, if we can't sign D-Law, that's where I'm at also. But if we can sign D-Law and try to get Quinn, we do have some salary sitting there for 1 year. This is the thing, guys. We have money sitting there for 1 year. For 1 year, we have money. That's the problem. Next year, we have all these other guys that are hitting salaries. We have a lot of guys coming in. Cooper, we have to get Zeke done. We have to get Dak done. So this year, we have money to pay Quinn a 1 year deal or Ziggy a 1 year deal. So if we can get Demarcus Lawrence paid now, we can still bring one of those guys in for a year. And that's why I would like to do that. It will change the outcome of a game. Definitely. They've already listed like 3 games. They're already listing on Twitter, hey, remember that game so-and-so? This team would have won if we had the challenge call last year because that was a definite pass interference they missed. So that's my thing, though. There's almost always a little bit of contact. So, and the referees don't call it because it's hand checking and this and that. Well, the thing is, if they can call it now and throw the flag, now the referees are going to be put in a position where they have to watch it in slow-mo, they have to watch it 3 or 4 times, and now you're like, well, that was kind of minor, but you have to call it. So I don't know how they're going to do it. It's crazy. Loose Change, how you doing, man? Nice, sir or ma'am. Loose Change is a open name, so I'm not sure, but anyways. Let me check out. How are we going to pay all of them? Yeah, exactly. So we have money this year, as you guys know, and that's part of not paying Dak right now, not doing Dak Prescott's contract. We have some money sitting there this year. The live stream catch up here, guys. I got an internet issue. If you guys can hear me, give me a second. Okay, it looks like we're back. So that's where I'm at. So we do have the rule change. As you guys know, I'm going to put it out real quick again. You can go to Bleacher Report or check around or Google it. But Michael Irvin is in the hospital. He's being evaluated for throat cancer. I hope that situation is minor. I hope it's something that can be fixed. If that is the real situation, I hope it does not affect his ability to work as a broadcaster or as an analyst. He's one of my favorites. I don't know. I really don't know. I hear a lot of other people say that they love Michael Irvin. I love Deion Sanders. I love seeing Troy Aikman. Of course, Troy Aikman and Tony Romo are 2 of the tops. Tony Romo did get a huge salary increase. He's making $10 million a year now. So I can't recall what he was making as a football player. I think it was around 16. So he's not making football money, but those are our favorites. And I've heard a lot of other people say the same thing, and they're not Cowboy fans. We had some visitors the other day, and he was actually a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, and we were talking about all the Pittsburgh Steeler drama and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell and the thing with we got to bring up something, guys. Dak Prescott, oh my God. Sometimes I get so pissed at the guy. I get so angry. I love him. I love him. Completely love him. But his position is so important. Sometimes we get frustrated with our quarterback. That's normal. That's going to happen because everything he does, he takes the snap, he drops back, he has to read the play, he has to make a good throw. In that just one scenario, one play, there's 4 or 5 things he has to do right. And if he does one of those things wrong, it completely destroys the play. I'm going to get pissed. I'm sorry. I want every play to go for a touchdown. Every fucking play, I want it to be a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm going to close this down a little bit. I don't want to get in trouble for the television there. But Um, but Dak Prescott, I'm in love with the guy. Like a long-term deal, 10 years. He's going to get paid, guys. I mean, the minimum right now for a very good quarterback, and he is a very good quarterback. I don't think he's in the top five as far as talent, but as far as winning, that guy's a winner. He is a solid leader. The locker room will follow this 20 years. Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach level of a team. He will go down in history as one of the greatest Cowboys. He will. He's just going to win that much for us. He has some things to work on, though. I do think Dak has some quarterback things to work on. He don't now as far as leadership and those things. He's not a. That's what they're having trouble with right now, and with Ben Roethlisberger, guys. If you talk about Ben Roethlisberger, he's an outstanding quarterback. He's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. His numbers aren't as good as Dak Prescott. I mean, if you look talent wise, his arm, Ben Roethlisberger's pocket presence, he does stay on the field. He's had very few injuries. Long term, Ben Roethlisberger's. Uh, who would I rather have? I'd rather have Dak than Ben Roethlisberger. He's causing, and the thing is, he's the quarterback, so he is demanding some respect in that locker room. He is demanding some things that he should demand, but he has some players around him that aren't receiving him well. He has to learn to talk to those guys. He has to bring them in. That's something Dak can do. I don't think Dak will ever have very many problems with anybody on this team. As long as he's playing really well, he will lead this team. And as long as the team is playing well, Dak is going to lead this team to places that we have not been in a while. And that's deep into championship games. I really hope that's Super Bowls. I think we can win Super Bowls. I think this is our window. But in saying that, guys, it only takes a few teams or a few players to take too much salary to absorb too much of the food on the table. If anybody on this team eats too much, that means other people got to eat less, and we can't. That's what's going on right now. Right now, everything that's going on with Demarcus Lawrence, everything that's going on with these salary negotiations, everything that's going on in free agency, we're winning our Super Bowl or losing it right now. We're getting the players there. We're getting the depth. We're getting the players we need if Ezekiel Elliott goes down. We're getting the players we need. If Cooper gets an injury, we're getting the players we need. And we're not going to have those players, the depth players. We're not going to have those Antoine Wood type guys that come in and play really well. Joe Thomas, if we have an injury at linebacker, they could release Sean Lee. They could say, hey, our linebackers are good. We want to pay you, but we just can't. We cannot pay you. We've got to pay Demarcus Lawrence. It's going to affect everybody, guys. So let me hit the chat box up because I think I've talked enough about Demarcus Lawrence. If I start repeating myself, guys, and you've heard everything, you can go back and watch the live stream from the beginning because we did discuss other things such as the new rules in the NFL. No Twitter news. I think it's the time of the day it started to slow down, but I am going to jump back through here and check some things. There were some things I wanted to discuss and didn't get a chance to. One of them something Jane Slater, Gil Benson, NFC Championship game. They're talking about the pass interference calls. There's the picture of Michael Irvin. That was really disturbing. Brian Broaddus got a new truck. Who gives a shit about that? And you guys can check Twitter. Stephen Jones made some really smart, solid comments. I will read this real quick. This is Stephen Jones talking on. This is Stephen Jones talking on Demarcus Lawrence. I think we got work to do here. As I said, we're not finished yet. We have some things in the mix we're working on that may address that situation. Demarcus Lawrence are talking about. They got some things in the mix that may address that situation. Well, things in the mix. Now, he's not saying we're just working on his salary. He said there's some things in the mix that could address that situation. To me, that means there's doors that are open, that they're willing to do different things. All right, back into certainly we're trying not to assume that you'll have to have anybody that's not ready to go. I think that's the way we're proceeding now in terms of what we're looking at and trying to get some other things done. So there's a lot of, it's kind of a, these guys never give you an answer. They just kind of talk in a circle. But he is saying, I'm talking in a circle. You have two top guys at the top. This is what he's saying. Stephen Jones has called caused the problem with Demarcus Lawrence. You have two guys at the top, and he's talking about Khalil Mack and Von Miller as far as getting paid pass rushers. And I'm sure that's why we're struggling here a little. But there's a delta between the top two guys. He says basically there's a gap between the top two guys and the rest of the edge rushers in the league. So now all the edge rushers, they're all like, shit, those guys are getting paid. So now Demarcus Lawrence is really he's the top. He is at the top of the guys that aren't getting paid yet. And he's getting paid, but he's not getting paid like Von Miller and Khalil Mack. So he wants to close that gap. The thing is, when he closes that gap, all the guys behind him want to close that gap. It turns into an Earl Thomas situation. And guys, it really is the same situation. That's why we didn't get Earl Thomas. The only thing with Earl Thomas was he was an unrestricted free agent, but he was asking for a salary. We didn't have to trade for him. We had no trade value getting back if we didn't get Earl Thomas. Now, if we don't keep Demarcus Lawrence, at least we get something. But as soon as Landon Collins signed his contract, as soon as Landon Collins signed that contract for $15 million a year, I knew immediately Cowboys aren't doing that, because Earl Thomas at the time we were thinking might ask for about 13, but he said, I want to be the highest paid safety at 13. I want to be the highest paid safety at 13. And then Landon Collins got 15. And Earl Thomas said, hell yes, now I can ask for 15 because I'm better than that dude. You're a sucker if you think I'm not better than him. That's what he's thinking. So now as soon as Landon Collins' agent signed that contract and got Landon Collins that money, Earl Thomas should have sent that dude over a suitcase full of money, because that's what got Earl Thomas paid what he got paid. So that's the way it works out, guys. I'm going to shut this down real quick. I got to get ready for work. I got to get some breakfast in me. It is 6 a.m. here, straight up on the dot. I'm ready to watch X Woods. Jason P., that's one of my boys too. I really love X Woods. I think he's going to... Let me give you guys some players I think that are really going to play much better. Golden Heart City 2, got a shout out. Still got your card right here, man. I keep it on my desk. This is my man. This is my man's family. Golden Heart City 2. I hope that's okay to show. I really appreciate the Christmas card, man. Thank you very much. Again, also, where I was going, I think these players are gonna step up this year. I do think Taco Charlton is gonna come around the corner this year. He's gonna be a little bit better. I'm hoping if we can get 6 to 8 sacks from him, that's gonna be good. I think Woods is gonna be even better. I think he played good for us last year. I think Leighton Vander Esch, I don't know how he can be better, but he's going to be better too. It's obvious. He's a young cat, and he's getting better. Jalen Smith, with those two guys working together, he's going to be a little better this year as well. So those are the guys I think that are going to step up. My concern, I've never been an Anthony Brown fan. I've never been a fan really big. I like him. He's solid, but I wish we had an upgrade at that position. And I think the Cowboys may look at that in the draft. I think just got enough of them, unless they start releasing a couple guys. We've got right now 5 tight ends on the roster. Is it 5 or 6? It's a 5. Swaim is gone. So it is 5. Let me see. I wish we could sign C.J. Anderson, but he wants to start. He wants to play. And the reason is he wants money, but he knows he needs to. With C.J. Anderson, he knows he needs time on the field to deserve that money, and he hasn't He had some good games with the Rams, but he didn't put enough time on the field to get a really big contract. What he wants to do is he wants like a prove it year. You got everybody's talking about these prove it years, but he's the perfect player for that. He had a few games. He didn't get a lot of time on the field when Gurley went down. When they had injuries with him, he stepped in and played outstanding. So, but he didn't get enough time on the field to really prove himself. He wants to go somewhere where he can start, get a mediocre salary, a good salary, something respectable. He wants to blow some numbers up. He wants to get his numbers up there like Gurley and Elliott and these guys and Shaquan Barkley. He thinks he could put numbers up like that and then ask for a contract. So he's looking for a 1 year deal. He also wants to win, but that's where he's at. That's the guys on defense that I think are going to step up. I think our offense is pretty solid, but in the secondary, I do think Xavier Woods is going to be better. I think Byron Jones actually and Chidobe Awuzie are going to be a little bit. We got young guys, man. All of our guys are young, and they're not young to the point where they've hit their plateau yet. They're young to the point where they're still getting better. We really drafted well the last few years, so that's why. And we've drafted well at defensive line, but they just take time to develop. So, as to me, on the defensive line, we're not going to get anyone in the draft that's going to come in and make an immediate impact. If we get anybody in the draft, he won't be a starter. Almost guaranteed he won't be a starter. You guys know we got Taco at 27, I think. Taco Charlton was the 27th pick, and he's still not starting for us. So Byron Jones is going to be lights out, but Kenneth, if we pay Demarcus Lawrence too much, Byron Jones could be one of those players that gets squeezed out next year because we also have to pay Dak and Zeke. But if Byron Jones, or excuse me, if Demarcus Lawrence can if we can cut his salary about $3 million, that's $3 million we have to put towards Byron Jones, and that will help him stay. Let's say we get him signed. Let's say we have about 5 million available for him, or let's say we have about 6 or 7 million available for him, but we have the 3 million we saved from there. Yeah, this should be his year, guys. I've been saying that Harlem Cowboy. I've been saying this for actually my whole football watching career. That defensive linemen, offensive linemen take a couple years to put that man strength on. And I was saying earlier, months ago, Connor Williams should be coming to that stage now. Connor Williams and Taco Charlton should be getting to that place where they're starting to put their strength on and put a little bit of quality size. You can have size, but you get your quality size once you get up around 27, 28, 26 years old. Yes, Connor put on more weight, but I think it should still move to right tackle. We'll see, guys. So I'm going to log out. Swaggy D in the house. Jason P., I appreciate your comments today. Very good knowledge came from you as well. Kenneth, thank you, and I hope we can keep. I hope we can keep Byron Jones as well. I'm going to try to slide up here and say hello to a few people before I jump out of here. But I do got to. I'm trying to find my chat box thing here. I do got to. Jerome Long. If we trade D-Law, we would be the second dumbest thing in football team behind Raiders. Hey, okay. I wanna call you out on this one, and not a problem. I don't want to trade him either. But Jerome, it depends on what we get. If you're still here, brother, take a look and Google this right now. It actually was on. They showed a picture of John Gruden with his head down talking about the Khalil Mack trade, and they were showing Khalil Mack's stats. And it is true. Everybody dogged him out, but you got to see what they got for him. Once you read the article and saw all the position players they got for him and how well those players did, it really worked out for Oakland because they were about to slide down the hill. They were about to go into a rebuilding mode, and I think he caught their rebuilding mode before they fell apart. So the Khalil Mack was really solid in that point, but Oakland's different than us. we do need to keep Demarcus Lawrence because we're in a window where we can win the next few years. Oakland was in that window where they were on the decline. We're still in that top team, top tier position, and we can hold that. But so what you're saying true, but what you're saying also is kind of a little bit. They got amazing value for him. They really did, and everybody just concentrated on Khalil Mack's doing all this and where did he go? Chicago. Khalil Mack's doing all this in Chicago. Look what Khalil Mack's doing. They should have never traded him. But if you go back and look at Oakland, they've got like three really good players, like Tyrone Crawford level type players. They've got they got three really good players and a draft pick still to come from that. So it worked out for them because of their position, and teams are at different positions in the NFL right now. So I'm going to jump off, guys. Thank you guys very much. So love, peace, and to all the Cowboys fans, let's get this done. Let's sign Demarcus Lawrence if we can get him for the right price. If we can't, we've got to test the water, see what we can get for him. If we get two defensive linemen that we can bring in and still have a couple million left after we pay them, and we get a second-round draft pick, that's not a bad deal if these guys work out. Now it could turn into a bum deal. We could bring in Quinn and Mack, not Khalil Mack, but Malik McDowell, or we could bring in the other one. I can't think right now. Robert Quinn. We could bring Robert Quinn in, or one of these guys. Ziggy Ansah. We could bring those guys in. They could do nothing. Of course, it doesn't work out if that happens. So we'll see, guys. But I appreciate the time on the live chat. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to get some breakfast in me, get a shower, get ready for work. And laters, guys, thank you very much for being in the chat room. If you didn't catch it from the beginning, Golden Heart, we had a really good show the whole way through, especially the beginning. We put out a lot of new news. So you guys go back and check that out from the beginning. And I appreciate you guys being here. Love, peace, and Cowboy wins is where we want to go, baby. Take care, guys. I'm out.